What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and today I want to do something just a little different. There's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of talk, rumors surrounding the President of the United States at this time. And I'm not trying to get into any politics here. I'm not trying to take one side or the other. But, you know, a lot has been said about what's going on, especially with Trump regarding the Paris Climate Agreement. And I really don't understand the president's motivations. Not trying to, like I said, I'm not getting political here, but I just want to understand where he's coming from. He seems like a very strange person to me, and I want to understand better what he's thinking when it comes to the recent developments in the world. So I wanted to do a tarot reading for President Trump in regards to how he's feeling about the climate decision that he's made to not include himself in the Paris Agreement. And so I want to do a Celtic cross for President Trump. That's what I'm doing here today. I just want to learn more about this situation, find out what's going on in his head, at least get some insight into it. So I'm going to use the Llewellyn Tarot here, and we're going to do a Celtic cross. And we're going to see what's going on inside the mind, the body, and the soul of President Trump. It should be interesting. I've never done a tarot reading for such a prominent figure, so we'll see how this goes. And just give me a moment here. I'm going to center myself, and I'm going to ask the tarot cards a question. What are the energies surrounding President Trump in relation to the recent decision he's made about the Paris Climate Agreement? By the way, I've got several crystals here on display, and they're helping me out. I've got my sodalite sphere, which I always have on hand, of course. And I figured that we need some healing. All of us in this situation, on all sides of the fence, need a little healing. So I brought my rhodonite sphere out for this one. And this is going to bring the energies of love and happiness and just wanting to help fellow man is what the energy of that crystal carries. I've also got my Mystic Merlinite, aka Indigo Gabbro, and I've been using this actually for my tarot readings recently, and it's really actually helped me to be more insightful when the cards come out. So I'm going to continue that trend today and see if it'll help me get inside the mind of President Trump. So I'm almost ready here. Yeah, that should do it. I'm going to cut the deck, and we're going to deal out the Celtic Cross. Okay, very good. I also, since this is a question that revolves around the Earth, I thought we might use the Earth. What's this called? The Earth Power, the Earth Magic Oracle. The Earth Magic Oracle to ask what does President Trump need to know about this situation? We're gonna ask the Earth Magic Oracle, what does President Trump need to know about this particular situation? And we'll get one Oracle card for him, which we will look at later at the end. Alright, let's look at this tarot reading. I've got several major arcana here. 1, 2, 2. So it's not this situation doesn't seem like it's something that he's getting a lot of pressure on, a lot of outside pressure from. So we'll see as we get more into this reading. The first card here is the signifier. This is him, and we've got the Four of Pentacles. Interesting. And he's being crossed by the Page of Cups. So right now I'm getting the sense that greed. Wow, I'm getting the feeling of greed here. The Four of Pentacles is about hanging on to what you have because you don't want to share it, you don't want to lose it, it's yours and you want to hold on to it. So I'm getting the sense of greed from this card. Whatever he's feeling about this situation, I think it's stemming from a fear of lack. Maybe if he gives up too much, that he won't get it back. That should go in a rap song. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he's just holding on too tightly to material possessions, and I'm getting the feeling that I don't know. I just the word greed is coming through here, and let's look at the what crosses him. What crosses him is the Page of Cups. So I'm getting the sense that perhaps he's feeling kind of emotional about his perceived lack. I'm getting the sense of very immature emotions, someone who hasn't really dealt with their emotions and doesn't really know how to deal with their emotions. That's what I perceive from the Page of Cups generally. And that's in relation to his fear of losing what he has. So I'm getting the sense of fear here, and a very strong fear, an emotional fear, a fear that's stemming from deep emotions that he's not really sure how to process. Is the feeling I'm getting here, and a lot of waves crashing around. I think kind of symbolizes confusion and anarchy in a way of his emotions are kind of just boiling over, and he's not really sure how to deal with them. Is what I'm getting from this card here. So yeah, I'm getting the sense that there's some fear of losing something. So we'll look at this more in depth. Next, we'll go to the recent past, and we've got the Three of Cups. I think in the recent past he's been talking to friends about this, and his friends have kind of influenced his decisions, and they've definitely impacted him in some way. And so I'm getting the feeling that close friends and family may have influenced him in some way. Definitely celebration comes from this card, so maybe he's been spending a lot of time celebrating something. In celebration of something with close friends and family, sharing emotions as well as the feeling I'm getting from this. So I'm getting the sense that maybe his friends and family have really affected him in some way to make this decision. That's the recent past. Over here we got the recent future, and we've got the Death card. I'm getting the distinct feeling that he's going to change his mind on the decision he's made. Wow, that's very interesting. I get the feeling that something drastic is going to change in his life that's going to precipitate change on this matter. I can't say what specifically that event or action or whatever that change will be, but I'm getting the feeling that something is going to change drastically. That's going to shift something inside of him, and it's going to make him see things in a different light. So in the near future, I'm getting the feeling that something will change as far as his decision. I'm not going to say he's going to change his mind and join the agreement, but I think he's going to shift the way he thinks about it. And maybe in the long run that'll make change occur, like actual change. But I think something inside him is going to shift in the near future. Very interesting. This card here represents his subconscious, and we've got the Six of Swords. I think so. Subconsciously, he's moving towards that change right now. I think his thoughts are shifting. I get the feeling that his idea of what he wanted to do is not really solidified. Like, he made the decision because he had to make the decision, but I get the sense that he's not 100% sure, and he might not even realize it, but subconsciously I'm getting the feeling that we're going to see a shift in the way that he thinks about this decision to not join this community. So I'm getting the feeling that his ego thoughts are moving into a different direction, and whether you see that as positive or negative, that's up to you, but I can't say. But definitely I'm getting the idea of a changing mind here. His mind is in movement a lot, so that's him subconsciously. Consciously, over here we've got the Nine of Pentacles. And this card tells me that his mind is made up. He's happy with his decision. He's glad he made it, and he doesn't really care about anyone else. Not in a negative way. I mean, he's sure in his decision. He's made the decision that he wanted to make, and he's very comfortable with it, and he doesn't really care about what other people say. So, putting that with this card, I'm getting the sense that though he may feel that way, I think subconsciously, I think something deep down is kind of irking at him, is the feeling I'm getting about this. Something is just not sitting well with him. He doesn't even realize it yet. That's why it's the subconscious. I don't know how in tune he is with his subconscious, but most people aren't really that in tune with their subconscious. So I don't think he's really aware yet that there is a shifting inside of him as far as how he feels about this decision. But in his ego mind, he is very happy he made this decision. He's comfortable with it, and he's love him or hate him, you got to respect the fact that he's going to be him no matter what. He's got millions of people who hate him, and he seems very, still very confident. And I think that's a sign of either an egomaniac or someone who is a great leader. And I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to get on one side or the other. It's always shades of gray, guys. But so I get the sense that he's very confident with this decision. He's going to stick by it for at least the time being. And he feels good about it. We'll shift over here. This card is the Nine of Swords. And this card represents his power, what he can do about this situation right now to improve the situation. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he hasn't had any late nights. He hasn't stayed up late worrying about this, which leads me to believe he probably made a rash decision. Maybe not a rash decision, but he maybe didn't really concern all the facts. If you're going to make a huge decision in your life, generally most people are going to stay up a few nights worrying about it because there's so many things to weigh, so many things to balance out and try to come to the right decision. I feel like this decision was kind of made a little bit hastily, and he didn't take all things into consideration, possibly. And so I think what he needs to do is think more about this, put more ego thoughts into this, spend more time analyzing this situation and seeing things from every different angle, because I get the feeling that he hasn't done that quite to the extent that he would need to for a decision of this magnitude. And it's not to say that, he should stay up late, but that's like a metaphor. Losing sleep is like a metaphor for really spending emotional or analytical time invested in this situation, really trying to perceive everything that there is to perceive about it. This card here represents the people around him in his life, and we've got the Two of Swords. I'm getting the feeling that the people around him are kind of indecisive. Like he's getting two separate people, like groups of people pushing and pulling him. I can't say who or what, but maybe his family and his colleagues, or certain colleagues and other certain colleagues, or some of his advisors are like they're split in half, and some of them are telling him one thing and some are telling the other. So I'm not getting the sense that he's getting help from the outside, the help that he needs. I'm getting the feeling that it's very divisive, and there's two sides of the equation here who are not really giving him a clear answer. So yes, I'm getting the feeling of conflict and not being able to make a decision. So the people around him are pretty indecisive as a whole. Thinking about his group of, he doesn't listen to the media, he doesn't listen to the people, he listens to his advisors. I get the feeling, and I'm getting the sense that his advisors are kind of split down the middle, and they're not offering him some concrete. There's no majority, so it's hard for him to make a decision. Is the feeling I'm getting. This is representing his hopes and his fears, and we've got Justice. Generally, I like to read this card both ways. As far as hope goes, I get the feeling that he's hoping that he will be viewed fairly. I get the feeling that he knows what he's doing is right, despite the popular consensus. And so he's hoping that one day the people will understand why he's made this decision. I think, it's hard to say without knowing the man, but he seems like someone who's desperate for approval, but at the same time extremely confident. So I'm not really sure which side he leans to, but I think he's seeking approval here. He's hoping for approval for what he's done, knowing that he's going against popular opinion, but really feeling right about it. So he wants he wants justice, he wants karma to level out, and for people to understand why he's made this decision. As far as fears, I'm not really getting too many fears from this. This is more of a hope. Sometimes I don't get a sense of fear from this. Fear of evening of karma doesn't really make sense in this situation. So I don't think he really fears the evening of karma. I think he feels so right. He's feeling so confident in his decision that he just wants people to understand where he's coming from and understand why he made it. And then the last card here is the future outcome. We have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is someone who is eager to create in this world, who's eager to get started, eager to make a name for himself, but doesn't really have the experience or the knowledge necessary to really excel in his chosen field. And I'm getting the feeling that he's kind of, as far as this decision has gone, he doesn't have all the info, and he's made kind of an immature choice. And I think that immaturity is going to continue into the future. I think that's going to be the outcome of this, is that maybe this change won't precipitate. There's no rain here. It won't cause a huge change, maybe, because he's going to feel a little bit immature about that. Yeah, interesting. There might not be any change from what I'm seeing here. Just I'm getting the sense of immaturity from this Page of Pentacles. Someone who's sure of himself, yet doesn't have the experience necessary to really put forth good energy into the world. So, not to say that he's made the wrong decision or the right decision, just saying that I don't see him wavering too much, just because stubborn is the word I'm getting for right now, is so a little bit of stubbornness on his opinion, on his side. So I think that maybe he might feel a change, but might be stubborn about it, and not, he's already put his foot down, and he can't really change his mind, even though he may have actually changed his mind, is the feeling I'm getting from this. So let's just look at it overall now that we have the full picture. I'm getting the sense of someone who made a decision based on fear of lack, and some immature thoughts. It's interesting, we got 2 pages here. I think that really speaks volumes about where he's coming from. It's just a little bit immature, just a tiny bit immature in his approach to things. And this speaks to immaturity of emotions, and just being a little bit too childlike when it comes to, just fear of losing what he has. So yeah, maybe this is power. Maybe these pentacles represent power, and he's very fearful of losing power. The recent past, I get the sense that he had friends and family helping him make this decision a little bit, or at least they're offering their inputs, which may not have been substantial, but it was there, and he's been celebrating a little bit. I'm not sure he's put he's not worrying about this, is basically what I'm trying to say. He hasn't lost any sleep over this, from what I'm getting, and he's been spending time having fun, basically, in the recent past. In the near future, we're going to have a shift. Something's going to change. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's going to be his mind, and he's going to shift how he feels about this decision. He may have even regret it and want to change. As far as his subconscious, I think it's already started. I think he's already second-guessing himself subconsciously. He doesn't realize it yet, but I think his ego thoughts are going to shift about this decision he's made. But in his mind right now, he is very secure with it. He's very happy. He's content, and he's confident in knowing that he made the right decision. What he needs to do right now, I think, is think about this more, put more ego thought into it, so that he's approaching it from all angles, looking at it logically, and also maybe communicating a little bit better with the people, so that they don't assume things. I think that's one thing he could definitely do, is have a better communication. The people around him just not really giving him the answers that he needed, and they were just kind of on the fence a little bit, split in half, a divisive issue here, and so I don't think he really got the guidance that he needed to get. So he kind of maybe, in some respects, made this decision by himself a little bit. He's hoping that people see him and understand why he made this decision. That he's hoping for fairness. He made the decision that he feels was right, and he doesn't think it's fair that everyone's going to judge him without really stepping into his shoes. So I think he's hoping for some karma to level out, and just for fairness to ensue, so that people understand why he made the decision. And for outcome, the Page of Pentacles tells me that I don't think anything's going to change, even though that his mind has shifted, perhaps, or will shift in the near future. I don't think anything's really going to change, just due to stubbornness. And it's not even stubbornness. If you're the leader of the free world and you put your foot down, it's very hard to say oops. I mean, the highest among us could do that, but it's very hard for most people to say I made a mistake, or I changed my mind, or something like that. So I'm getting this feeling of stubbornness from that card. So let's go to our Earth Magic Oracle and see what message this has for Mr. Trump to move into the future. And we've got tree, grounding. Okay, very earth-based. I think Mr. Trump needs to get more connected with the planet, as far as getting back to reality. I get the feeling that he's swimming in his own thoughts a little bit. I mean, we got a lot of swords here. Got a lot of swords, and even Justice is holding a sword. And so yeah, I get the sense that he's lost in his thoughts a little bit, and he needs to get back to reality and see what the reality of the situation is, so that he's not so much just alone in this. You know, when we get lost in our thoughts, we tend to just shut out other information or the wills of other people. So yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he needs to get grounded, get more established, connect to Earth, and really ask the Earth what she wants and what she needs. And maybe he'll come to the same decision, maybe not, but I think that's something that will definitely help him, is to stay grounded. You know, if you think of someone who's ungrounded, you kind of think of Trump. He's just, you know, his own little world, right? You know what I mean? He's just living, he's the king of his own little world. And I think this card is very, very telling that he needs to plant his roots and really get back to reality, so that he can lead these people, because they need a leader right now. They don't need someone who's off in fantasy land, basically. So yes, thank you, Earth Magic Oracle. That is a great message for Mr. Donald Trump. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, so did that shed some light on this situation? I hope so. I think it helps me a little bit. It kind of confirmed some things that I thought, but also at the same time illuminated a lot of things. And I think that was a really good spread. And I might do, if you guys enjoy this kind of thing, I might do more of this in the future. Whenever, you know, divisive or confusing times come up, we can do a reading on the person involved and see what they're kind of feeling. So leave a like if you did enjoy this reading, and let me know that you enjoyed it, maybe also by putting a comment in the comment section. And if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. You can catch more of these videos. So yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. I hope you have a great day. Happy taroting. Peace.